Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Last time we made it here, and basically what we are doing is overriding the system. And I didn't mean, I was like, as I was looking for it, I found this, which is the manual override, which I am going to have to write this shit down so that I can fucking remember it. I'm gonna do all that off screen, just so we're not wasting time, like, as I'm writing stuff. Okay, now that we got everything written out, let's go through the very fun confusion of flipping all these fucking switches. I actually have no idea where we're at. I think this is Athena, because I remember seeing Demeter, Poseidon, and Zeus. And the only thing is because I went through and flipped some of these switches, I have to also make sure, because I think red is default, but I think it's just in this area that I flip switches. Okay, so red, green. And then these last two need to be green. This is the thing that's gonna take, like, the most time. Like, without a doubt. How did I only learn that there was a run option till now? Like, what the genuine fuck? Okay, so that's red. God. This is... Okay, self-learning protocol's overridden. What the fuck does that mean? Okay, but this section is done. And now I know how to run, and this kind of makes me mad that I'm learning it now. The meter... Also, I'm realizing this too. That means we went the entire first episode not running. We went the entire first two episodes slow as shit. Lovely. Oh, fuck. Harvesting protocol is overwritten, so yay, no more organ harvesting. I wonder if Zeus is the one that we actually just need to do. Wait, which one was this one? Okay, where's Zeus? So... the rest of these need to remain red. Water wheel protocol's overridden. And we're back. Okay. Meet me in Lonely Pikes Lakeside Resort F Bolt. I guess that's it. Yep. Lonely Pikes. Whack-a-ma. God, I'm so excited I can run. Welcome to Lonely Pines Lakeside Resort. How can I be of service? We're here to see Franklin Bolt. Ah, wonderful. Mr. Bolt's been expecting you. He's in the cigar room. On the door on the left will lead you there. God, it is so nice to run. Ah, Detective Fitzgerald. Colonel Davis, you're right on time. Right on time? You were expecting us. Of course. Actually, I was expecting you a lot sooner, but oh well. Do you know what we're here for? Yes, you're here to interrogate me, then arrest me. Wait, how do you know that? Detective, Colonel, please have a seat and I'll explain everything. This is highly irregular. Lee? He's unarmed and doesn't seem to be trying to escape. Escape? Why would I? It's been so much effort getting you here. Getting us here? Yes, I had to leave quite the trail of breadcrumbs just so you would investigate the matter and see everything for what it is, and eventually make your way to me. I know from what it looks like I'm the big bad of this story. Perhaps if you could listen for a while, you may not realize it's not all black and white. Villains rarely start as villains, Miss Fitzgerald. More often than not, they start off thinking what they do is somehow improving the world, then along the way, bad decisions are made with the best of intentions, but often the world supports the logic behind them. No, they aren't. That is how Nepo babies are born, sir. I realized that one day I was no longer the hero of the story. I realized what was being done wasn't improving the world. Get to the point, Bolt. You see, it all started in the early 2000s when I was a young investment banker in Wall Street making my first millions, and my younger brother had just finished college. I insisted he join me in New York, as I wanted to take him under my wing and teach him how to make money. Initially, he seemed interested, and then Twin Towers were destroyed in 9/11, and all my brother could talk about was joining up and bringing the war to them. He joined the U.S. Army and was commissioned as a lieutenant. When the U.S. declared war on Iraq, my brother's unit was one of the first to go into action, 3rd Ranger Battalion. Wait, that's my unit. Bolt. Is it all coming back to you, Colonel Davis? Brother was Lieutenant Logan Bolt. I don't care. So you know how the story goes. It was 2004, right after the Iraqi insurgents killed those contractors at Fallujah. Lieutenant Bolt was second in command of a small tattoo on a recon mission. His unit was spotted in an ambush, but they fought hard and were able to break through the ambush and escape through a narrow back street. Once the surviving members made it past the back streets, Lieutenant Bolt noticed that the insurgents were hot on their trail. He stayed back and took advantage of the bottleneck in the streets and to hold off the insurgents. He successfully had enough time for his platoon to escape, but paid the ultimate price. Your brother was a true hero. I'm sorry I couldn't make it to the funeral. I know you were the one that signed his letter of condolence. Anyways, as you can imagine, the news devastated me. Here I was, a successful businessman in the toughest city in the world, making it big, and I thought I was untouchable. Then this happened, and it destroyed me. I flew to Wichita Falls to pick up my brother's body, and whom do I meet there? A young biochemist by the name of Lars Conway, whose brother also served in the same unit as mine, and also shared in the same tragic fate. He spoke bitterly about how the U.S. government was not choosing to invest in his research, and if he had had his way, this tragedy wouldn't have happened. Conway was of the belief that his research in biochemistry could lead us to genetically enhanced super soldiers that could serve as the bulk of the infantry for the more grueling mission. He believed that the government was all too happy to sacrifice the lives of its young soldiers to serve its own needs. So by the tragedy of my brother's passing and by the fire in Conway's eyes, I was convinced to set up our own private corporation that would research a way to make these super soldiers so that no one else would have to know the grief that we knew. Homeboy, you were looking at this really black and white because you're looking at it as like, oh, I had to suffer. But you're also not thinking about, like, there are certain times where war is so plainly black and white. When you look at just, I feel like, not the upper echelon, but like, who is controlling it. But when you look down at, like, the commoners, it's like, less so, I feel like. But that's just me. Again, this guy just feels like he's like, boo-hoo, I had to suffer in my life. You don't want people to not know that grief. Because if you did, you would be helping people out. Instead, you're like, let's just, like, invest in super soldiers to, like, push this pain onto someone else. We created a pharmaceutical corporation. Conway agreed to develop money-making pharmaceuticals to help generate the income for the company. In turn, I would helm the investments to helm the company's success and divert 30% of all revenue towards research projects. It all started out rather well, and for the first 3 years we made a lot of money, and Kanye was making leaps and bounds in his research. Then a financial crisis hit in 2008 and the company began losing money. Anyway, with the company in such dire straits, we had to look into selling shares to other corporations to stay alive. Unfortunately, we had no serious bids and looked like we were going to file for bankruptcy. Then Conway found an investor out of nowhere, a certain Matteo Spinola. This is where I remember the Spinola name. That was the mafia connection. It had a Spinola family. Yeah. So I took it as a sign to leave, and I sold all my shares to Matteo Spinola and resigned as CEO of Bolt Pharmaceuticals. Doesn't end there, does it? If only it did. A year after operating under Spinola's control, the company is yet again on the verge of bankrupt, and I get a call from Conway pleading that I return as CEO to bring the company back and in turn keep his research alive. So I went back. Why? You must remember that I created this company and ran it for 5 years. I knew a lot of the people that worked for me, and in this economic climate, it'd be hard-pressed to find other work. So I went back, but when I returned, I saw that the corporation had changed. Matteo Spinola had approved a certain type of research program that I had vehemently opposed during my tenure as CEO, and Conway was all too glad to cooperate. Initially, I wanted to blow the whistle and team up with one of Spinola's hedge fund managers to blow the lid off the entire operation, Connor Friedman. I remember that name. Fortunately, Spinola's men got to him and killed him. I realized that Matteo Spinola was too powerful, and I knew too many influential people that no one would believe my claims about him. After all, why would I destroy the very company I birthed? Everyone would be convinced I was a fool and a madman. No one would believe me. I had to get a detective untainted by his tentacles of corruption. Do you really have to use the words tentacles of corruption? Really? So I made a call to the High Commissioner and had him pass the case down to you guys. So you were involved with the disappearance of college kids. No, Spinola and Conway are behind that too. They needed young and healthy test subjects to test a new serum on. Those college students were the lab rats. Conway knew Rebecca Olsen and her boyfriend used recreational drugs, so he swapped their supply with samples of his new serum and made it look like the drugs they were taking. He knew she would share her drugs with her sorority and was observing at the time. When the drugs had their adverse effect, he went in, using a copy of her key that he had made and planted evidence to make it look like a murder. Why wouldn't he target a group of football players instead? Wouldn't they be more similar to soldiers in terms of physical type? The serum works very poorly in conjunction with performance-enhancing drugs. Conway needed cleaner and healthier subjects, and since those girls were doing modeling work, he assumed that they generally ate healthy and exercised regularly. Probably not. They probably take a shit ton of, weight loss supplements. Probably exercise. They don't eat healthy. They don't eat, probably. Especially if we're going off of, early to mid-2010s. That's probably... I feel like that was kind of around the time where, the body positivity started kind of creeping in. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Look, you don't seem to be a bad guy, but I can't help but suspect your motives for revealing all this. Also, if you were trying to feed us information and explain the men in the hazmat suits that were intending to kill Agent Fitzgerald and Agent Valdez. Spinola's men. Ever since the immoral experimentation began, Matteo Spinola placed armed guards south to south to south. Detective Fitzgerald and Agent Valdez leave my company's HQ. I sent a false order to the guards to remove them for the night. Unfortunately, I didn't think they'd take so long in there and didn't account for the new morning guards. So you saw us leave and come in. Didn't you wonder why no one stopped you? Besides, whom do you think conveniently sent those letters to Conway, knowing that he was out on a speaking tour? I see. Take this flash drive. Inside are all the documented cases for all the illegal experiments that Conway has been running. There are videos, photos, and a whole stinking lot. With all this, you'll be able to put Spinola and Conway behind bars and shut down pharmaceuticals once and for all. What's in it for you? You're being very generous with all this information. I'm suspicious as to why you're so keen to betray your friend Conway. Yes, Conway and I were once friends, but now I see him for the monster he truly is. The fact that he would stoop to dealing with the likes of Spinola disgusts me. Colonel, a man reaches a point where he can no longer lie to himself, when he knows that he cannot tolerate the justice he sees in his very eyes. The moment has come to me. If my brother were alive today, he would agree on this course of action. Terribly sorry to interrupt, Mr. Bolt, but Inspector Walsingham has arrived. I know the word Walsingham. Let him in. Wait, is Walsingham the, British guy? Yeah. Looks like I arrived just in time. Phil, what are you doing here? Phil, I thought you were Inspector Mark Walsingham at MI6. What? Sarah, I will explain everything in due time, but for now, we have to get out of here. What are you talking about? Mr. Bolt, my contact in Munich has just informed me that he and his men have successfully arrested Professor Lars Conway as he was giving a talk at the Ludwig Maximilian University in Munich. My God, this madness will finally come to an end. Unfortunately, Matteo Spinola has caught wind of our plans and is sending men over to kill you as we speak. We must leave now. Okay then, Ferguson, ready my car. Actually, we can't leave for the front. Spinola's men will be coming in through there. There's a rear exit into the lakeside area behind me. Excellent, let's go. We'll be sitting ducks in an open area like that. I say we dig in and fight from here. That won't be necessary. I've stationed 2 of my people outside. We'll be covered. 2 men? Is that it? Are you nuts? Spinola's gonna send at least 20 here to kill me. Please, don't underestimate my people. What accent am I doing? I'm trying to do British and it's weird posh. Yeah. They'll have problems making mince meat out of Spinola's thugs. They'll have no problem. Besides, they brought along their big toys. I'll go outside and help your men fight them off. Thank you ever so much, Colonel. I know with your special abilities, 20 men hardly constitutes a challenge. For that reason, I would prefer you to have come with us in case we encounter an unpleasant surprise. Unpleasant surprise, huh? I sure do. Love how you British people love to understate things. Come on, let's go. I kind of want to just like run around to be like, let's go get shot. I forgot. I can actually run in this game. Look at that. Look at that. Sorry. I'm having so much fun with my newfound ability to run, and I feel like we're hitting endgame. Okay, well, far enough. Just keep your eyes peeled. My squad should be around soon. Okay, Bill or Mark, or whatever your real name is, you have some explaining to do. Look, Sarah, I know this all looks really bad, but just know I had no choice. Also, you weren't supposed to be here. There was confusion as my FBI liaison was killed, and his goofy associate took things into his own hands. What? You were working with Agent West this whole time? Also, don't talk about us that way. Sorry, Sarah. It's all just gone so crazy. Look, all you need to know for now is my real name is Mark Walsingham and that I'm MI6. British intelligence. Yes, we've been following this case for quite a while, and while all this came up, we attacked quickly. Flew to Silver Creek Falls under the guise of a transport Scotland Yard inspector to take a look at things before coordinating with the FBI and assembling my team. I'm sorry for deceiving you, Sarah. I just had to be very careful and couldn't risk being discovered. I'm happy to see that you're okay. Pardon my French, but what the hell are you Brits doing here? How does this involve you? I'm afraid I'm not at liberty to discuss that. As I suspected, what's going to happen to Franklin Bolt? I'll be taking him into custody. He'll need to testify against Spinola and Conway, among other things. Like what? Again, I'm not at liberty to discuss this. Well, guess what? I'm taking him into custody. He's related to the crimes in Silver Creek Falls. He's mine. I have more jurisdiction here than you do. I'm sorry, Sarah. This really should have never come to this. Ferguson, what's the meaning of this? Terribly sorry, sir. It's been a pleasure serving you, but my loyalty is first and foremost to my queen. The hell is going on? Stand down, Fitzgerald. It's not worth it. I see you've started the party without me. Just in time, Sam. Did you two wrap up everything? It was easy. After we finished killing them, we threw the bodies into the resort and set it on fire. Good job. All good here? Any trouble? Not at all. Ferguson, please escort Mr. Bolt into the car. Right away, Captain. I'm so sorry, Sarah. I do hope to be able to explain everything to you one day. Damn it! Come on, Lee. Let's get back into the car and pursue him. Let's leave it here, Sarah. What? I can't believe you! I'm gonna head back to Barrier Sky. I'd appreciate some help, but if you'd like to go and pursue them, it's fine. I don't understand. Why didn't you do anything? I'm sick and tired of death and killing. Also, we're not in control of that situation. We were outmanned and outgunned. I guess. I'm going now. Have a safe trip back to Virginia, Detective. Lee, wait! I'll help you bury Sky. So I guess we buried him, and now we're back in Norfolk. Thanks for driving me home. You okay? Not really. The whole thing left a really bad taste in my mouth. I know. I feel the same way. Thank you for helping me bury Sky, and I appreciated the kind words you said for her. Don't worry about it. You're a rare gem, Sarah. Your conviction of justice and truth makes you a truly incredible detective and police officer. You're just trying to make me feel better. You know I don't mince my words. Thanks, then. I just wish I could have gone deeper and done more. Driving into the murky waters of the criminal world is not something one does casually. You never come out truly clean, and you really lose a piece of yourself as you enter. The deeper you go in, the more sullied things get, and before you know it, you're swimming in a pool of dirt, brass, and blood, all in the name of justice. But to uncover the truth, isn't all this sacrifice the price? But is it worth it? Look how many perished in the pursuit of truth, and at the end, how much did we achieve? At the end, we're not but puppets in another man's bigger game. Mark. Within his machinations and plans, I doubt we were more than pawns with bigger players like the High Commissioner and Franklin Bolt playing his Roken Bishop. It's all a bit depressing, isn't it? My apologies. I didn't mean to discourage you. Always fight for the truth and justice, no matter what level of law you are in. All I mean to say is that rising the ranks in law enforcement comes at a high personal cost. See, you have had a lot of experience. Army, police, it's different, but similar in so many ways. Here I thought I'd live a peaceful life in a small town, but I guess I was wrong. Panama, Somalia, Afghanistan, Iraq, and now all this. I'm so tired of it all. So, what's next for you? I think I'll go travel around the country. It's about time I see more of this beautiful country so many of my compatriots died for. For your own safety, I'll keep my exact travel plans to myself. You can get behind that? Thanks. How about you? I'll take tomorrow off and head into work the next day. Keep doing my bit to keep this country safe. Maybe I'll hear from Mark one day. He did promise he'd explain everything to me one day. Wouldn't hold my breath for that. I'll get going now. Wait, what did you mean? What did Mark mean by special abilities? I'll do you a big favor by not telling you. Goodbye, Detective Fitzgerald. Goodbye, Colonel Davis. Oh. I thought it was going to drive off. I think Leah's waiting for me to get inside the door. And that's it! I'm gonna be honest, that ending felt a little bit anticlimactic. I'm going to be perfectly honest when I say that. It has been a while though since I've played these games. But I do really kind of like the whole detective idea. I do like the fact that it doesn't hold your hand. My biggest issue, and I don't, kind of breaking it up like this into like a serial format, I think definitely kind of has its pros and cons. Like, I feel like you're able to get stuff out more. And of course, like, possibly like me taking this long to finish it probably wasn't intentional, but again, kind of trying to find time to do all of it is a little bit of a pain. I know I still have, I think the last chapter of Walsingham, but I don't think that's actually out yet, if memory serves. I don't know what I'm going to play next, to be honest. I do kind of want to pull away a little bit from all, like, the detective RPG stuff, mainly because I've been doing that so much. So, I don't know what I'm going to play next on this channel, but I hope you guys did enjoy this little bit of a quick cut. It is technically another game that is complete, which is great, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see y'all next time for whatever the hell happens. I'll see y'all then. Bye. I know I technically did the outro already, but we got sassy bonuses. Beaumont Hotel in Oklahoma. Meet up with Agent Carnivora. I was not expecting this time, to be honest. Also, I don't know who we are. Maybe this is... Carnivora Hotel. Where is Valdez?
He's in the bathroom. He'll be back in a second. We can start without him. Professor Chan, I hope your flight was comfortable. It was fine. Thank you for flying me in business class. It's not a problem. Do you have Convoy's files? Of course. Here you go. Thank you, Winston. You did the right thing. Oksana, what will Moscow think of what you're doing? They'll understand. It's for the greater good. Mark? Well, Hans, will Mark be okay with this? He'll understand. I know he will. We need to prepare for the invasion. Yes, we'll need every trick under our sleeves to protect us against them. Them?